ผมยกมา2 อย่าง4 อย่างนี่คือ scholarship of discovery คือการค้นพบใหม่นั่นคือวิจัยแล้วก็ scholarship of teaching คือวิชาการเรื่องการเรียนการสอนอีก2 อันเนี้ยน่าจะเข้าเรื่องนี้คือว่าวิชาการว่าด้วยการประยุกต์ใช้อันนี้อาจารย์ทำอยู่แล้วมหาวิทยาลัยพะเยาหรือมหาวิทยาลัยอื่นๆที่มาเสนอบทความในที่นี้มี scholarship of application เยอะอยู่แล้วอีกขั้นหนึ่งที่ยังไม่เห็นคือ integration คือการบูรณาการสิ่งที่ทำหลายๆโปรเจกต์หลายๆเรื่องเข้าด้วยกันแล้วอธิบายอะไรบางอย่างon top ผมเห็นโครงการของมหาวิทยาลัยที่เสนอตรงนี้เยอะแยะมากเลยเป็นที่ประทับใจมากในระดับโปรเจกต์นะครับแต่คำถามต่อไปคือว่าแล้วจากโปรเจกต์ทั้งหมดเนี่ยเราเรียนรู้อะไรบ้างในเชิงการบริหารจัดการก็ดีในเชิงวิชาการก็ดีเราเรียนรู้อะไรบ้างที่จะเอามาทำเป็นสกัดเป็นอะไรที่เหนือกว่านั้นได้ขอบพระคุณครับ
สุดท้ายนี่ถ้าอธิการจบลิกเลยนะเราคงต้องไปสกัดต่อว่าเมื่อเราเห็นความริเริ่มที่มหาวิทยาลัยได้ผลักดันไปแล้วนะมีตอนนี้เราหว่านนะเกิดต้นไม้เริ่มโตขึ้นมาตอนจะเก็บเกี่ยวเราไปทำอะไรที่เพิ่มมูลค่าเพิ่มขึ้นได้อีกนะซึ่งก็จะเป็นโจทย์ที่น่าจะเดินต่อไปถัดไปนะคะที่จะพูดก็จะเป็นดร.สรานนะคะดร.สรานอย่างที่ได้แนะนำแล้วเป็นรองอธิการบดีมหาวิทยาลัยแห่งชาติของมาเลเซีย University of Kebangsaan มาเลเซียKebangsaan แปลว่า National นะคะเนาะแล้วก็เป็น Executive Director ของAsia Talent Network USR NS นะคะแล้วก็ AYBP คือในที่สุดเข้ารวมเนี่ยเรียกว่า Asia Engage แล้วก็เป็นอันแรกที่ใช้ชื่อนี้แล้วหลังจากนั้นสักไม่กี่เดือนนะคะออสเตรเลียก็เปลี่ยนชื่อจากชื่อเดิมของออสเตรเลียเป็น Australian Engagement ที่เราจะไปวัดพาไปดูงานนะแล้วพอกลับมาสักอีก 2-3 เดือนเราก็กำลังวางแผนจะตั้ง Thailand Engagement Thailand ก็อันนี้คือคนเริ่มต้นดร. สราพล
Thank you very much Dr. Sulaphon. Sawadika to everyone. Professor Monton, the president of the university, Dr. Vibun, vice president, and Professor Vichan Panik, and of course my panelists as well. And ladies and gentlemen, forgive me, I have to speak in English. You know, when I'm sitting here, I was wishing that I knew Thai and would be able to talk to you in Thai, but I will do my best in English. When I was coming here this morning, and I drove in to this amazing university, you know, I think you don't realize what an impact the entrance of your university makes. And then I saw the motto, "A life with wisdom is the most wondrous of all." And you know what you need to put down as a subtitle, which make it too long, but really the wisdom that you have in the entrance to your university is wisdom that you can get from the community, from the people out there as well. And I think that would make it really powerful. But Mr. President, it was really amazing, and you've got a beautiful campus. Must congratulate you on that. Transformation, which means, looking at the dictionary, making a marked change in the form, nature, or appearance of. In the title of this paper, it is the verb transforming that is used. In fact, I would not dare say that institutions have transformed, because we are all in the process of transforming through systematic and coordinated community and industry engagement, and facing tremendous challenges as we go on this journey, as you've heard from many of the speakers. Many universities in ASEAN, as well as Australia, and in many other parts of the world have worked in the area of community and industry engagement for a very long time. This is not new. But what is relatively new and more difficult are efforts to coordinate, to systematize and professionalize engagement. In this context, the first part of my paper will take you through findings obtained from a tour of select Australian universities made as the Asian Visiting Scholar through Engagement Australia's Scholars and Experts program. I was very privileged to be invited as their the first visiting Asian scholar. This took place from the 11th to the 20th of March last year. The Asian Visiting Scholars Tour involved Edith Cowan and Curtin Universities in Western Australia, Flinders University, South Australia. When I was coming in this morning, I told my colleagues, I said, do you know what Piyao University reminds me of? Flinders University. Because it's also got the same landscape, but the greenery, of course, is different. University of Southern Queensland and Central Queensland University with their three campuses at Bundaberg, Rockhampton and Mackay campuses. Two papers were presented at each university. The first was Leading Community Engagement at an Institutional Level, and the second, ASEAN Perspectives on Engagement, highlighting models and best practices. These were followed by group discussions that provided voice to the participants from various universities of the challenges of mainstreaming community and industry engagement. The key recommendations of the academics, the key recommendations that I'm going to introduce to you now has come from the academics who were involved in the workshops of all the various universities that I've mentioned. Firstly, they felt, and this is in Australia, there is a need for a clear governance system and management structure for integrating university and community engagement across research, education and service, both at the institutional. And when I talk about institutional, you have to bear in mind that it is both internal as well as external. The internal challenges of convincing academics to participate in this field take up even more of your time, my time anyway, than the external. Because if you don't convince the internal and you go external and you come back sometimes with partnerships, it won't work because you don't have that internal. So I think the area-based research, that modality that Dr. Silapon and Dr. Pinawat are working on is really amazing and something that will help with this. Secondly, they felt that there's a strong need to define what engagement is. And in this case, expanding on regional development and how it is linked with so many of the other definitions related to community engagement. You have so many different terms being used. So that the area of community and industry engagement is not regarded as merely a third mission of service, but instead is integrated across research, education and service to maximize its potential and enrich the core missions of the university. Thirdly, there is a need for a national policy on regional community engagement so that there can be recognition at the government level and provision of sustainable funding support for community and industry engagement. Everywhere in the world this is a problem. Most of the funding goes to traditional research. In the UK, they have started developing very strong indicators and criteria, and they are also doing it in Australia. We are also doing it in Malaysia. Impact indicators so that university funding for research will depend on how much of impact your research makes to the communities. And I think Thailand is definitely moving in the right direction for this as well. Next, there is a need to include community engagement in promotional systems for academic staff and credits worked out for students involved in these initiatives. And this will require recognition and support from the top management of the universities. Next, there is a need for the sharing of skills, knowledge and good practices for capacity building to develop industry and community engagement, champions amongst staff and students, and to develop the scholarship of engagement. It was clear after the group discussions that many of the challenges faced by universities in Australia and those across ASEAN are similar. But until and unless senior higher level education committees chaired by vice chancellors and the government ministries that govern them work at institutionalizing and clearly supporting this field, we will be always faced with struggles to fulfill our convictions of the value of meaningful regional development. All these papers that I've written are available on the Asia Engage website. So when you go to the website, you must first like us. Then you can access the papers. We're quite desperate, you see. Okay, let me just take you a little bit. I don't have much time to go into too much detail, but I'll just want to take you into the journey that we have carried out at my university, University Kebangsaan Malaysia, which translated is the National University of Malaysia. Just for you to understand where we are coming from, UKM is a comprehensive university. It has got numerous faculties, it has got research institutes, it's also got a 1,000-bed hospital in Kuala Lumpur. You know, so the medical faculty is huge. So it's really rooted in traditional academic research, like most universities are. So then into this university that is rooted in traditional research comes this new person appointed as Deputy Vice Chancellor for Industry and Community Partnerships. And I had challenges on two levels. One, it was a new portfolio because the other portfolios are the traditional portfolios that you find in most universities. You know, academic and internationalization, research and innovation, and student affairs and alumni. And number two, I came from a minority community. I am a Punjabi Sikh by ethnicity. And in the university, most of the university, the majority I would say, are made up of the dominant ethnic group. So I really had challenges on two counts. So you can imagine me coming from a minority community trying to drive community engagement in the university. Right? I need a medal. Okay, so that was the portfolio that was set up. Let me just explain the governance system because I think that would be related as well to what is being discussed today. So one of the first things we needed to do was to develop the definition for engagement. What exactly is engagement? And we came up with this. You'll find many definitions for engagement. Engagement implies purposive, respectful. I cannot begin to emphasize this more, that both sides have to respect each other. And productive interaction between both internal, academic students and administrative staff and external stakeholders, industry, government agencies, NGOs and communities for the establishment of mutually beneficial partnerships. This will involve working together with shared understanding to develop shared solutions through shared governance and shared assets. Communities don't have much assets really in terms of monies to share, but they have assets in terms of knowledge that they can share with you and really enrich your knowledge as well. Many of you already know that through your wonderful projects, and I look forward to talking to those who won the awards. Congratulations. With the ultimate aim of gaining shared advantages for all stakeholders.